Yes.
That's how we all dream closer.
Everybody has moved away from them.
No, we rather move towards the side.
I don't want to I want to apologize for postponing the meeting by 15 minutes. I'm not going to ask anybody to say the word. Out of the topic, we need to keep it clean. And I'm going to make these comments because most probably, and especially since I have the longest serving officer in this nation, as far as this group is concerned, I'm probably, by way of longevity, more capable to make comments than most of the could. And therefore, if at some point I sound like I'm sort of telling either my life story, I got here about 5 years or so, 4 months ago. First, I wanted to see how the business looked like when I got here, a house of pictures that I could take a look at. Then also, I got here where the senior staff who were supposed to be running the mission were not talking to each other. And I got here going through the experience of the day that I was supposed to present my credentials, the document got lost. Then I also recognize that most Ghanaians never actually willingly associated with the mission. Because as far as most of them were concerned, officers in the mission gave them the kind of treatment they didn't think. The very first meeting with the Ghanaian public, I had to try very hard to disabuse their minds of that. So with a bit of effort, a certain kind of war started developing between the mission and the Ghanaian public. As it happens, probably that in its turn generated a certain kind of a situation that one could not have anticipated. In the sense that with the increased grappling between the embassy and the Ghanaian public, and recognizing that the greater proportion of Ghanaians in Japan at the time the situation is still similar, if not the same, greater proportion of them not being people with proper or correct immigration documentation. A lot of rather very awkward processes apparently started. Just want you to understand that as an individual and as a Ghanaian and as an ambassador, I will bend over backwards to support all, to protect the interests of any Ghanaian. That comes with a trust. That, in my view, is not healthy. And then also, if the situation is backed by a certain kind of position, part of certain individuals, that cases like that, either the ambassador who is supposed to be the garbage collector for it all should not know or doesn't know. That for me is sabotage. And I believe that my purpose for wanting to have a conversation with you this morning has been prompted by what has happened in the case of Bosnia, where the ambassador is supposed to have sacked the driver. The driver writes a note on the internet accusing the ambassador of having done this, having done that. The ambassador is only interested in having his girlfriend visit him. And sometimes even two girlfriends at a time. The ambassador has done that, the ambassador has done that. Quoting figures only if you read the account from the files position. As far as I'm concerned, that could only be done, even if it's by the driver, could only be done with the assistance of the very officers who are supposed to support that ambassador. In the scheme of things, the ministry that we are supposed to either work for or work through usually doesn't seem that there is anything wrong at all. But from where I sit, basically, that ambassador is more or less either being paralyzed or assassinated. And I don't think the country in that case in fairness can expect that that ambassador can gain the kind of with which he could do it in the interest of that. And maybe I take this kind of position partly because I have had the experience of having an officer in this mission who got into serious health problems to the extent that I took her into the residence, vacated my matrimonial bed so that she could be cared for 2 weeks. Managed to get somebody else to come and escort her back home so that she could get a bit better. Turns around, writes on the internet that I have sexually assaulted her. Ministry would not do anything. So I asked the ministry that they should ask her to file a complaint so that they could investigate. The ministry set up a committee to investigate. The ministry doesn't inform me that there was a committee. Until a year after the committee itself had met and submitted a report. And I threatened to take the ministry to court before the ministry said, oh, there's a committee, come before the court. I agreed to go on condition that the ministry will confront me and the officer at the committee. I get into Accra, appear before the committee on a Friday. The committee promises me they are arranging for that confrontation. On the Sunday, the person will be posted to New York. And after now, the committee has not even had the decency of giving me a copy of the prior report, nor even a copy of the proceedings of the committee when I appear. Now, when I insist on it, that means taking the opportunity to court. All that I get is over, please don't have to, just let it go. And how does anybody let that go? But I think that happens because it looks like the whole ministry is some kind of a club that those of us who supposedly don't belong can be sacrificed and nobody takes. And maybe it suits certain individuals, but it doesn't suit the country. Because you do that, then basically what you do is to put your own country on the chopping block. Because the ambassador, whether one likes it or not, represents the president first and then the country second. So when you have officers basically, throwing mud at the ambassador, how do you expect that ambassador to go to any governmental office and have a certain kind of demonstrative reception and respect? The fact is, of course, the whole idea of diplomacy is to, pretend to love somebody even when you hate the guts. But in that case, you can go to any of the ministries, or Your Excellency, as you are talking, somebody is supposedly taking notes. As soon as you leave, they just dump the notes again because there's nothing that they are going to do. Now that is the kind of situation that, as far as I'm concerned, is not going to be in the best interest of any of us. Cannot escape the fact that 50 years after independence, 50% of our national budget is underwritten by donations from other people's countries. So, if we are going to continue to do that, then at least the people that we send ought to be people who can at least make a case. And also ought to be people who make the kind of case that will make it possible for us to use that dependence on other people's generosity.